event, and a terrific atmosphere building here inside the stadium. And this might be the two sides that are at the bottom end of the Super League table, Kyle Moore, but two sides that have improved immeasurably over the course of this season.
Yeah, good afternoon, Fraser, to everyone at home as well. You're right. These two sides here enter this arena at Ellen Road and sat currently at the bottom of the ladder. Two places where no clubs want to be, Fraser. And we're just ready. We're moments away as Jack Walker will look to get us underway.
Liam Rush, the man in the middle this afternoon. The video referee, Ben Thaler. Let's hope we don't have to hear too much from either of them this afternoon. But it's going to be Hull FC who are going to get us off and underway. And Jack Walker, restored at fullback this afternoon, will get things going for the Black and Whites. Let the magic begin as it is hoisted high, and a first receive and a little touch and a mistake from Ollie Leyland there. The ball is loose immediately, and within the first few seconds of the magic we have a little bit of mayhem.
Yeah, horror start there for the Broncos. Leyland just with a heavy touch, and it's Hull FC who are in possession now. They're 10 metres away.
Lingy Sao pushing his way forward, and already in these early stages an opportunity for the Hull FC side to get themselves on the score sheet. It's with Cartwright. It'll be brought back in through towards Sao again, in through the middle for Yusuf Aden. Tackle just 10 metres short. The momentum which was building with Hull just so quickly early on seems to just died down just a tiny bit here as Tom Briscoe tries to bring the ball in towards the try line. This is the last tackle as Lane gets it out to Aden again, and a missed ball, but he's out the back and he might just get a touch on this one, but surely that's a knock on. Referee has spotted that one, has he? Well, he's going to have a look at this one, and for the first time this afternoon we'll hear from referee Ben Thaler in the video bunker.
I have no try. Just check for a possible knock-on in the build-up, please, Ben.
OK, we have no try on field. If we just play it on from here. So the ball is flipped out backwards, that's fine. The ball is then lost forward. Keep it going on that, keep it going. You've got to look at where the ball goes in relation to the ground when it's touched. Just got another angle on that. This might be a good one if you're just coming into this. Just go back on this nice and slow. So as he does touch it, it is touched again. The ball does travel forward in relation to the ground. Thank you, I've now made my decision.
So, no surprise, it did look as though the ball was touched forward there, Kyle, but early warning signs for London Broncos there.
Yeah, it was a wonderful offload, wasn't it, from Jed Cartwright.
No try, it's fixed, 10 in, 10 out.
But the skill on the end of it from Charles, just can't take the ball in. So it's a chance gone begging. Scratchy play from both sides in the opening minutes. And it's London Broncos who will breathe a sigh of relief as they look to clear their own end.
So the Broncos then with their first chance to attack the Hull defensive line. Davis waiting at dummy half as he flings it inside. Hull with just 3 wins so far this season, London with 2, but they both won games against each other. Very little to choose between them, but as the boys were saying a little earlier, an awful lot of pride at stake in this game, considering the lowly positions in which they find themselves. Broncos then in towards the 40-metre line, and first hands on the ball from Campagnolo and away towards this near side touchline. As Kershaw waits here and turns it inside through towards the halfway line. And the first touch of the ball for the afternoon for Reece Kennedy. Into Hull territory now as Campagnolo with a right-footed boot high into the air, testing this one at the back for Jack Walker. Back in at full-back. It's been a bit of a switch-around position, that one, for Hull FC over the course of this season, with young Logan Moy shining on many an occasion.
Yeah, Jack Walker finds himself back in his usual position. You're right, Fraser. I think he's much more effective there at the back. Just a decent set there from London Broncos, but now it's FC, and he looks dangerous, doesn't it, Jed Cartwright?
Jed Cartwright, of course, son of John Cartwright, who's going to be coaching the Hull FC side next season. Described as a no-nonsense player, having come in from Australia. Made his debut last week. As this one is hoisted through from Jack Charles, going out towards the corner, and a first receive for Josh Rourke, who's been a real breath of fresh air for the London Broncos since eventually making his debut, having had to wait an awful long time. But in the meantime, the penalty's been given here. A slightly high tackle there on Josh Rourke.
Yeah, a reckless challenge there from Yusuf Aiden. Didn't really need to do that, but you're right to mention Josh Rourke. 11 tries last season in the Championship in his time at Whitehaven, and he's now 5 tries in the last 6 games for the London Broncos.
So a chance for the Broncos to steal a bit of space as Bassett flings it inside.
No, ducks under it. Whoa! Moving out the line will do, wait!
Those are the head-to-head results between these two sides so far this season. As I mentioned a little earlier, just the one win against each other, forming very few wins as far as the season is concerned. Hull, of course, having lost the last 3 since that incredible victory against Wigan a few weeks ago. Bassett bringing it back in again for Campagnolo and Kennedy. Kennedy up towards the 20-metre line. He gets tackled. And a first real chance to bang on the door here for the London Broncos. Campagnolo down to the left side.
Good
Bassett,
shot.
it's a great tackle as he is wrapped up 10 metres short.
Harvey Barron made Bassett feel every part of him.
Campagnolo is charged down, and Hull with an opportunity here to try and find themselves, drive it through from Lingy Sao.
Oh, what's he
That's
doing?
a disappointing pass backwards, and a bit Adebayi comes up with it just on the 20-metre line, but that's a real gift there for London Broncos.
Yeah, that's sloppy from Sao. He didn't need to promote that ball. He could have just took his medicine and transitioned from defence into attack, but it's the Broncos now who climb 15 away, moving this ball to the right-hand side.
Marcus Stock, high ball over the top from Campagnolo, in towards the near side for Lee Kershaw. Kershaw having to run back in time, though, towards the 10-metre line again. Being shoved back by this Hull defence further and further as Davis gets it away. Down the left flank from Leyland. Took a touch there, though, off Adebayi.
There's a penalty here. Perhaps that shot.
Just let me deal with it.
Just as the ball playing towards the left-hand side of the posts. There's a bit of late contact in there. And Marcus Stock, you can see there, I think it's Sao as well.
It's a big one, isn't it?
I think it's no more than a penalty. Well, Sao has just come up with a minute of madness, really, with ball and now without. But perhaps London Broncos will get the first points of the afternoon. No doubt that Mike Eccles will point towards the sticks, take the 2.
It's just all been nice to
So,
relax. You are
chance
rapping,
here.
but it is late. You need to be very careful.
We
with
were
your
looking to
approach,
see whether
okay?
the kicking team was coming out, but it looks like they're going to tap and go.
Sam, just here.
Well, perhaps they're just thinking that when any time they're down here, given how Hull FC's defence has gone this season, that there's an opportunity to get more. And I thought surely in a game like this, just
Davis
take the 2 points.
Yeah, to Butler. Butler a battering ram of a player. Davis waits again. Players to his left and to his right. Goes to the left side for Leyland. Leyland with a little shimmy and a sidestep as he tries to work his way towards the touchline. Warrington bound, so we understand next season, Ollie Leyland, as Campagnolo finds Kennedy. And London just happy to work their way through the tackle count at this early stage and put pressure on the Hull line. Try and find a gap somewhere. Campagnolo might get it. Out it goes, down to the right-hand side. And they're going in. London Broncos with Josh Rourke get the first try of the afternoon. They were gifted a penalty on the 10-metre line, and a few tackles later, they knocked on the door and managed to smash it open with Josh Rourke.
Yeah, and it's the man that we previewed before the game, isn't it? Down pitch side, Josh Rourke, highlighted as the magic man for the London Broncos, and rightly so. And it just shows there that you can rewind that all back to Lingy Sao's decision to promote the ball to give London the ball back and then to commit this 10 metres away from his own line. And 2 plays later, the shape around Campagnolo is exceptional, and he has a bit of work to do there. Does the young fullback. Well, boy, he does well. And London, well, they strike first, 4-0.
Terrific work from Josh Rourke. As we said, he's been an absolute breath of fresh air. Played fullback in the last 6 games, a try scorer in 5 of them, to become the club's top scorer, joint top scorer for the Broncos so far this season. That is now his 6th of the year in Super League, so he is really in a hot streak of form for Mike Huckle's team.
And only 7 games as well at Super League level. He scored 6 tries, you're right. Joint top try scorer now for the Broncos, and Ollie Leyland there with the kicking percentage at 60%, almost. Has got a difficult kick here. 10 metres in, 20 away.
It's a pretty tight angle for Oliver Leyland.
But what a start though, Fraser, from the Broncos. The second good ball set and they come away with points. But the shape, I liked everything around that. It just opened up. Also, FC, they would have been disappointed. They had chance and bodies there. But Josh Rourke, a man in white-hot form, is able to put that ball down.
Leyland has kicked 26 goals so far going into this round. Let's see if he can make it 27 from a tight angle and make it 6-0.
Oh, it's true. He strikes it good, Leyland, and it's 6-0. And Broncos fans will be delighted, that man as well. He might do in his career no harm. But just look at the shape. They get up 10 or so metres. There's chance here to kill this play. He sells the dummy. Smith comes along and tries to help, but he does enough, does Rourke. It's a blistering start.
Yeah, they've been steadily improving, haven't they, the Bronco? And I say that, and my word, that is almost a commentator's curse come to absolute fruition there as Hakim Maloudi is launched over the line.
Well, that's 2 kickoffs now that they haven't dealt with. Of course, it was Leyland on the first one. And Hakim Maloudi just can't collect that in. And Liggy Sow, I mentioned his involvement for that try that they conceded, but he makes up for it there with a hard chase through the middle of the field and traps the Frenchman in goal.
Well, a couple of mistakes have been made early doors from the kickoffs by London Broncos. Perhaps a bit of big stage nerves this afternoon, coming here to Elland Road in front of a big crowd. Magic weekend, a very, very special time of year as Herman Esse barges his way through the London Broncos line before it's picked up by Jordan Lane. Morgan Smith now away to his left-hand side for Esse again. There's another player who's come back into the side with 44 offloads this season, Herman Esse, but they're down on the other side this time. As Walker had come into the line. Pull back again for Smith, and then in through to the middle for Yusuf Aden. Just a few metres short. Last tackle again as Jordan Lane goes wide to the right-hand side, back out from Cartwright. And once more with Smith with a kick over into the corner and chasing after it. Beautifully dabbed down by Lewis Martin. That was simple as you like. Martin spotted the pass, made the run, the kick was true, and the try is given.
Yeah, it's a brilliant score there. And Lewis Martin, he's Hull FC's top try scorer with 8. Well, we get the beauty of set high up here, Fraser, Elland Road, and we could see Martin, as soon as that ball was offloaded by Cartwright and ends up into the hands of Smith, he's pointing and saying that he wants the kick. You can see the space behind Kershaw. And London Broncos, they concede the most tries from kicks in the competition. That's 18 now. But as soon as this ball's promoted and it's moved out to Smith's hands, Lewis Martin's eyes light up. And it's a foot race, and he beats his opposite winger and scores an important try for Hull FC in the context of this game this afternoon. There's only 10 minutes gone. A number of errors already, but the score now sits at 4 points to 6 with a kick to come.
He had a bit of work to do there as well, didn't he, Lewis Martin, to stop himself without running through that back line in order to dab the ball down.
He's been another one of those in an awful season for the black and whites. A 19-year-old turns 20 on Monday. There's Lewis Martin, but Simon Griggs is giving these young players an opportunity, and Lewis Martin's paying his coach with dividends.
We've got to be careful what we say this afternoon, because Simon Griggs is sat about 10 feet away from us. So I'm sure any comments that we make, he'll be able to hear loud and clear. Jack Charles then, and looks like he's pulled this one, has he? Yeah, just to the side. And so the Broncos still leading by 6 points to 4. But I have a funny feeling we are going to see an awful lot of tries in this game this afternoon.
Well, off the evidence so far, if you're going to turn the ball over cheaply, as London have done twice, well, there's enough out there for the black and whites to make them pay.
Awful lot of young players have come through the whole side this season. In fact, the number of players that they've actually used over the course of the season has been incredible. 43 players in 22 matches, which just shows you the turnover they've had at Hull FC this season. Kyle, has been quite incredible, hasn't it?
Yeah, it certainly has. You know, Sam Esse will come off the bench wearing shirt number 52. That's the highest ever in Super League, that.
None of the Hull players have been ever present throughout the entire season, but Morgan Smith has missed only 1. Herman Esse has missed only 2.
Herman Esse.
Ow.
I think he's been fantastic this season. He's the competition's top offloader, but he can do the other part of the game well, and that's just carry the ball hard and direct that he's shown there as Tom Briscoe takes over. Of course, his 350th Super League appearance, Tom Briscoe. Oh, look at the carry there from Esse.
Yeah, he's been incredible, hasn't he? And he's showing just exactly why he's such an important part of this Hull FC side. As Rourke is tackled, as Campagnolo brings it back inside through to the middle. And then he waits again at dummy half for the ball to come back from Kershaw. Maludi.
Offload there.
Nice offload. Campagnolo, and the staggered start there from the London Broncos is eventually brought forward by Marcus Stock. Davis will wait again at dummy half. Up towards the halfway line. Here's Kennedy in through the middle. Steady improvement, as I say, from London Broncos, having recorded that incredible win against Catalan Dragons a couple of weeks back, and then they scared the living daylights out of Warrington last week. Kershaw does well to hold on to this ball. 20 metres from the line now, the London Broncos, as Campagnolo goes for a high ball out towards the line. This will be a tester for the Hull back line, and they're equal to it as the tackle goes in from Will Lovell on Jack Walker.
There was good kick pressure there, Fraser, from Yusuf Aidin on Campagnolo. Just allows Jack Walker to catch that ball nice and clean.
Down the line they come. Hull. It's Harvey Barron. He's tackled on his own 20. Another good run from Lee Sao. Carlos Tuimavave, another player who, having come into the team midway through the season, has breathed new life into the black and whites. Probably fair to say that some of the performances that Hull FC in particular have put in this season haven't resulted in perhaps some of the points they deserved at times. And a big tackle goes in there by Sadiq Adebayi. And then Rourke is tackled with a big one at the back as well. Here's Kershaw. So much excitement to come through the course of this afternoon here at Magic, of course, with Wigan versus Saints, the second game this afternoon. Then, of course, Leeds Warrington as well. Here's Sam Davis to the halfway line. The referee's blowing the whistle there. There'll be a penalty.
Yeah, decent run there from Sam Davis off the back of a quick play of the ball. Sorry, he just jumps out there, sees the markers out set. There's a guy left on the floor. He just spots the space and they're offside.
Campagnolo then will get us back underway with the penalty. And Kershaw just spins the ball back out for the near side for Ethan Natoli.
Oh, good
Way
ball.
over the top. It's a good ball as Bassett gets it away to Maludi, trying to skip through the Hull FC defenders, and London very quick there to play the ball from one side to the other. As looks like Jordan Lane's taken a bit of a whack there for Hull FC.
Marcus Stock been busy so far this afternoon. Ball playing, taking carries in there. Gets a quick one here.
Davis, plenty of players away to his right-hand side, and he finds Campagnolo, and then Butler. Butler trying to drive his way through, but eventually pushed down, and the referee's blown the whistle again.
It's Rob Butler, he's in the way of play.
The two of Harvey on that far side of the field there, just receiving some
Rob,
treatment.
just stay there, it's tackle 3 with you. Yeah,
The referee decides to stop the game.
Unless he obviously gets subbed off. Wait there.
He doesn't look too happy at all, does he?
They'll be
Carlos
disappointed.
Tumavavi.
Be disappointed for those black and white fans just behind the defensive line of FC. If they were to lose Carlos Tumavavi, it looks like he's going to go off for a head assessment.
Yeah. Better safe than sorry, obviously, but we could see the physio there taking great pains to have a look at the way Carlos Tumavavi's head was moving. And so that's a big blow for the black and whites at this early stage.
Yeah, it is, and with 4 forwards on the bench, there's a bit of a reshuffle in the back line. It looks like Brad Fash is going to get onto the field.
So Carlos Tumavavi is coming off for a little bit of treatment. Brad Fash, the man who is going to replace him.
Yeah, and Ed Chamberlain will slot from the left edge back row over to the right centre. Of course, Chamberlain, he's used to that position. He played there most of his career. Well, Brad Fash.
So
out
now
there.
we've got the battle of the mullet stroke moustache with him and Campagnolo. As the two of them with their distinctive styles, shall we say. Distinctive style here from the London Broncos as they go over the line, but held up just by the Hull FC defence. The referee right on the spot there as it's flung out quickly for Campagnolo. Quick hands from Rourke. Wasn't a hand in the tackle there as Kennedy, Kershaw, turns it back in, and Campagnolo just signalling to the rest of his team that was 6 more. Here is Kennedy.
Lewis Martin's hand down on it off the pass from Rourke.
Campagnolo to Leyland, out towards Rourke, and then Maludi running out of space on the try line almost, but getting through at the second attempt. It takes 4 black and whites to eventually bring him down. Bassett waits, flings it back in for Leyland. Long pass through the middle for Stock. Stock to the 10-metre line as Davis waits, looking for Kennedy, but bypasses him instead and goes for Campagnolo. High ball over the top. Kershaw all in the corner. Kershaw to the corner. Can he get the ball down? No, but he flings it back. Brilliant work from Lee Kershaw. They've still got this going here. This is incredible. It's like pinball. Pinball rugby league from the London Broncos, but eventually the move breaks down. That was incredible stuff.
Sure was. They kept the ball alive, and in the end I think it's FC who managed to force the mistake. But the offload from Kershaw was outrageous. And just see here, I actually thought that he was going to snap back into the field and actually get over here, but FC do well enough in Smith and Martin. But the offload is a blind one, and then they just keep the ball alive. It gets very, very scrappy, coming off legs and arms and everything.
Well, magic weekend, bringing out some magic stuff from the London Broncos. Unfortunately, not as far as getting the ball over the line was concerned, but
well,
my word, keeping the ball alive there. Terrific work.
I wouldn't quite call it magic, Fraser. Call it wild.
So 18.5 minutes gone. The Broncos still leading by 6 points to 4. As Brad Fash with his first touch of the ball, finding Jack Walker. Walker spinning around in the tackle.
Gets away from Kennedy.
The black and whites up towards the halfway line again. As it's chipped forward here in towards the corner. Bit of spin and turn on that ball as Josh Rourke takes a moment to decide what to do before bringing it back. Fash in the tackle, along with Tom Briscoe. As Campagnolo, that's almost a low ball, too low almost there. But well picked up in the middle.
It's a decent carry there out of your own end as well.
Good work from Butler. Davis. And Lovell to the 40. Davis again goes to his left side in Campagnolo, and they don't mind throwing the ball a long distance to miss out the odd play here. And when it works, it's brilliant. But unfortunately, not working as often as they would like, the Broncos here.
Yeah, a bit of a sloppy pass there from Campagnolo. Nobody on the end of it means Leyland has to kick under pressure from inside his own 30. And Jack Walker and Martin, they're all back, they're all set, and they're all ready to roll forward here.
Lewis Martin bringing it forward. He was the try scorer for Hull a little earlier on in the game, cancelling out the one from Josh Rourke. Harvey Barron now.
Again, Harvey Barron, another one of those youngsters this is only his 12th game for Hull FC and his 7th this season. So he's another one of those outside backs them who are benefiting from this sort of disrupted and not so much flattering season, but they're now moving the ball through Smith. Brad Fash there looks back and finds a bit of space through the middle of the field and looks to offload the ball in an impossible situation. And that's a stupid mistake there.
Dear.
And then he's
and a bit of afters as well.
A
bit of afters with Sam Davis and Brad Fash as the two big guys go at it.
Well, he's got to be careful as Brad Fash. Just what he does and how he throws his arms around, because, of course, he's only just got back into the side following missing last week from the sin binning 2 weeks ago.
He played in 6 successive games and had 2 starts before missing the home win against Wigan.
Yeah, but he's just come onto the field and you need your bench to lift you and take you to a different part, a different intensity of the game, and that's just a dumb play. And then he follows it up with a bit of afters on Davis. I don't think Griggs will be too happy.
Yeah, he picked up a sin binning against St Helens and got a one-match ban, which was why he was missing for the game against Lee last week. Brad Fash. Walking the disciplinary tightrope at times.
It's another good carry as well there from Marcus Stock. Another one of those ever-presents for Mike Eccles.
Let's see what the injury situation. We'll head down pitch side and join Jenna.
Yeah, Jack Walker has just come off a couple of moments ago. He's currently sat on the bike, but he's been receiving treatment on his bicep. It was Zach Jebson who went on for Walker.
Thanks, Jenna. As Bassett now on the left flank, trying to roll this up for the Broncos. In towards Leyland. Leyland shapes to go one way and finds Campagnolo. Down through the middle for the Broncos with Natoli. Onto the 10-metre line. Campagnolo with the long high kick. And dabbed back by Maludi. Bassett does well. Into Adebayi. And he's tackled there, and that is the turnover. And Hull FC will get the ball back.
Yeah, bit of a scrappy end. Martin O'Fire, of course, watching on.
All the big names in here this afternoon.
Well, it looks like Jack Charles has dropped to the full-back role, Fraser, for Hull FC, and there's an opportunity there. It's not a position I don't think he's played too often. There's an opportunity to perhaps slide a kick through and catch him out. He was set on that short side of the field and moved late to fill in that role. But he go for the crossfield kick and come up with nothing.
SCSC. So Hull move it down the right-hand side. Jack Charles was tackled. And this is good work through the middle for Jordan Lane. Smith with the kick towards the corner. And that one's gone out. And that'll be a simple one for London to deal with.
Yeah, Morgan Smith there just rolls that ball over the sideline, just allows his players just to get a bit of oxygen back into the lungs. And of course Smith, back in 2019, featured 19 times for the Broncos, Fraser.
London have got a couple of players who've been ever present this season in Marcus Stock and Ollie Leyland. They, by contrast to Hull, have only used 32 players in 22 games so far this season. 14 of those players, Kyle, have been debutants over the course of the season, which just shows you...
Well, it's just hard to build any sort of connectivity, continuity inside the ranks of Hull FC. But Campanolo switches back to Leyland. They're going to look at this side of the field.
Bassett bringing it back in. Good heavy tackle from Jed Cartwright. And now with Butler. Another one of those heavy runs of his. Davis waits just behind him, goes to the left-hand side, and Leyland pumps it high in the air. Charles is going up against it, but it's been missed. Lovely back end from Josh Rourke, and they'll bring it through here, and Campagnolo! Jack Campagnolo with a second try of the afternoon for the London Broncos. They gambled there. They gambled big time, and it looks to have paid off. But the video referee will have the last say. Referee on the field says it is a try, but it'll be Ben Thaler who has the last word.
OK, so the on-field decision for try. We're just going to the kick to start with to ensure everybody's onside. So we just pause it on the foot. Keep going, pause it there, thank you. Everybody is onside because his foot is clearly in front of the line, so we just go on to the challenge now to make sure that it's a clean catch. So we come into something tight in this angle here. So just go back on that nice and slow. Keep going on that. So it's always in his hands. OK, let's go on from here. Just make sure on the touchline, this is the point the touch just asked for. He stays in the field of play. That's gone backwards. Just go back on that. You can clearly see that the player has changed hands and actually flicked it with his left hand backwards whilst he's in the field of play. So we're playing on from here. Again, that's fine. He's still got the ball. Keep it going on that. And again, it is offloaded backwards. You can clearly see because he's in goal, he's in the field of play. So we're going on from here. Nice and slow. And pause it there. Thank you. I've now made my decision.
Well, you have to credit the inventiveness of the London Broncos, but that was superb work from Josh Rourke to somehow keep the ball in place, switch hands out the back.
Yeah.
And Campagnolo, the right man in the right place to finish it off.
Yeah, Campanolo, his 9th game for the London Broncos, and gets his first try for them. But it was the kick, the high kick there from Ollie Leyland. And I mentioned about young Jack Charles being at fullback and didn't look quite comfortable earlier on when he gets out jumped, and Rourke does some wonderful stuff with that ball there, flicks it back inside. Just watch how he catches the ball here, jumps higher than Charles, snatches it, transfers the ball into the left arm, flicks it back inside. That's sensational stuff. And then the strength from Maludi, and Campanolo there to finish it off, and the kick's true as well. And it's 12 points to 4, and it was just brilliant keeping the ball alive there. Hull FC, of course, will be disappointed. They had enough opportunity to deny this, but the kick, the chase, the competition and the skill is all won by London Broncos, and they get the second try of the afternoon for them. Delight for Campanolo and the Broncos.
Well, it's no wonder that Josh Rourke is getting so many plaudits. Even in this game, as we've seen, some of his touches have been absolutely sensational, and he's been a real headache for Hull FC throughout this opening 26.5 minutes of the game.
Yeah, Fraser, the guys mentioned it pitch side as well about how Mike Eccles, and it's disappointing for him that he's going to get a couple of his team picked off, no doubt, for next season. We've already mentioned that Ollie Leyland rumoured to go over to the Warrington Wolves. Younger brother, of course, Bill, off to Hull KR. And you would imagine if Josh Rowe keeps these levels of performances up, and there's certainly a player that many clubs in Super League would look to recruit for 2025.
He played fullback in the last 6 games. It was a broken leg that delayed his debut.
Bad mistake. And you look at how London have managed, Hull FC have threatened. They've only really threatened, I have to say, when London have made cheap mistakes. There was 2 off the kick-off, and then that one, especially after points, is a tough one to wear.
Mike Eccles with plenty to think about then as we get closer and closer towards half-time, but I think he'll be pretty happy with the way things have gone so far. Let's get another injury update from the touchline. Jenna.
Yeah, on the 15-minute mark, Carlos Tumavave came off for an HIA. He has passed that head injury assessment. However, he will remain off because he has a trapped nerve, which will be assessed at half-time.
Well, it'll be interesting to see whether or not he plays any further part in this game then, Kyle. That would be a big blow for the Black and Whites, missing such an influential player.
Yeah, but it's the disruption it causes, him and Jack Walker obviously being off the field.
Here's Lane. Aiden waiting just behind him. Lee Thao is loitering with intent as well, just behind, along with Herman Esse. But instead, they go with Smith and a chip ball forward over the top, looking for Briscoe, but snatched out of the air by Lee Kershaw.
Yeah, Kershaw just staying strongest in that competition. Comes up with the ball, and there's a little bit of work to do to get rid of Brad Fash, and does so. But you just wonder that the longer this goes on, you know, that's a costly mistake, that one.
Put the ball sideways.
I think Hull FC scoring it. I really do.
Well, they've put themselves, or rather they Broncos have put themselves in a really difficult position here, haven't they?
Yeah, and it's the man we've been praising for, we've been waxed lyrical about for 29 minutes. He just tries to play the ball, and he's almost facing the side. It's an incorrect play of the ball, rightly so. And FC have an opportunity here.
One of the areas where you can't get away with that anymore. Given the way things are, the play of the ball has to be clean, and it has to be correct. And Hull FC looking to punish the Broncos here. Down the line it goes. Smith in towards Briscoe. Briscoe wrapped up in the tackle, but was looking there to try and find an offload. Through the middle. And Jordan Lane. And he's just held up on the line. The referee will want everybody to be pushing back here.
Tackle free. Sorry, tackle free. Jordan back.
Jordan will have to go back to the 10-metre line.
Hold. Go, 3.
As Chamberlain down the right-hand side they go. Short ball.
Okay.
And towards Cartwright, trying to make his way through, and it almost fell to Jack Charles there, but London Broncos will get it back again, and Kershaw running into trouble, but eventually finding his way onto the floor. And do you think that was the right decision there, the way they were playing that ball with tackle still in the back?
Yeah, look, I do. I think Jed Cartwright does ever so well to get through there, but it's just a desperation from the London Broncos that when he's made that decision to let that ball go, there's a black and white shirt there ready, but the reaction from the London Broncos is what denies that beautiful offload to come to nothing. You don't mind it down that end of the field. You know, the scoreboard is behind in your favour.
Lovell was tackled there and then turns back out towards Jacob Jones before Jared Bassett is tackled on the halfway line.
But he does look a handful, doesn't he, Jed Cartwright? It's a kick from Leyland again, another high one, tester for Charles, and he answers it. Now Barron.
Barron running sideways and into 3 London Broncos players before he is eventually tackled, and Smith gets it in towards Lewis Martin. Martin finding himself a little bit of space, and now running at the defenders here. Lewis Martin over the halfway line, leads some support, eventually tackled, but an absolutely terrific run from Lewis Martin, and all of a sudden Hull FC have got their tails up.
Yeah, game-changing run there from Martin, but it's Fash now. Back inside to Briscoe.
Briscoe running at defenders as he's done so many times throughout his illustrious career as a Super League player. Now through the middle with Herman Esse barging his way through the London Broncos defence. But eventually they bring him to a halt. Takes an awful lot of effort to do that, Herman Esse. Through the middle again, going for it himself. This time is Morgan Smith. But it's a high tackle on him by the looks of it. And they'll get another 6 here.
And they'll get 6 more inside the final 8 minutes. You just see the high tackle there from Butler. He can't help it. It's a lazy left swinging arm. It just catches him, and it's right in front of the referee.
And London Broncos giving away opportunities again and again here through a lack of discipline. As Aiden is tackled out wide. Smith towards Briscoe. Briscoe's a good tackle again. It's lovely work from Ethan Natoli. As Charles goes away to his right-hand side. It's a loose ball. And Lingy Sao will pick it up and bring it forward. 10 metres from the line once again. But plenty of tackles to go. Smith away to the right. And in through the middle again. Lovely work. Once more, Cartwright in towards Herman Esse. Esse with another offload. We've seen that so many times, and that's picked up nicely by Jordan Lane. They sense an opportunity here. Kick into the corner. They're going for it. Martin chases. Kershaw is first to get there. And desperate scrambling at the back from the London Broncos.
Yeah, Ethan Natali just had to, well, he's forced into trying to shut down the kick. He manages to put enough pressure on him. But I thought when the ball bounced there from Kershaw that Martin was waiting for his second. And he manages to regather it, and it's 6 more. This is a huge, huge set for the Broncos.
This is what, the third?
The third now, yeah. 3rd set in a row.
And they are under intense pressure from Hull FC. But they've been the architects of their own downfall. The London Broncos here with some of the mistakes that they've made. Here's Sam Esse, who's come on as a substitute for the Black and Whites.
His 3rd Super League club now.
Loan spell at Leeds,
yeah,
down
Castleford.
the road not so long ago.
Castleford now FC offload there. Oh,
and a mistake in the middle there.
Knock on.
Mistake in the middle from Jordan Lane.
Yeah, where do
it's
you
going to
want
be a Hull FC ball here, Fraser, when he promotes that pass. I think it's Hugo Tisson that just tries to shut the play down there. The offload, that's okay. No, it's Jacob Jones, sorry, he can't get on that loose ball and kill that play. Knocks it forward, and it's going to be more tackles.
Set number 4 then for the Broncos to try and defend. LFC 20 metres from the line. As the ball comes out of the scrum, Fash makes a dummy run. Morgan Smith is tackled. Chamberlain waiting just behind him, but then decides to go to Smith instead, and Fash trying to push it a little bit closer towards the line. Lane waits at dummy half. Smith now just looking like he'd run out of options for a moment there. Sam Esse runs out of options. Everybody just paused for a second there. Too many men around the ball. Pushing though. Jordan Lane closer and closer. Can the Broncos hold out, or are Hull FC going to get themselves on the score sheet? Yeah, they've been wrapped up. That one will be held.
Look, that's an ugly set from Hull FC. They've done absolutely nothing with ball in hand in that set. They've just tried to go route one, all on their own, wasted 5 tackles, but there's one more to go here. As Smith, short ball to Fash on a last play.
Fash is wrapped up again.
Fraser, I'm completely lost at what Hull FC are thinking of doing in that set, but they've just done absolutely nothing.
As I mentioned a little earlier, Simon Griggs is probably, what, 10-15 feet away from us. I'd love to know what he's thinking at the moment after having so much possession and so much pressure right up against the Broncos line there.
You just wonder who's running the show out there, really, because they just looked like nobody was on the same page in that set.
A solid 5 minutes of defending there for the London Broncos, and you'll see, I'm sure, how much that takes out of them over the course of the rest of the game.
And that's probably the disappointing part, really, for Griggs, that the fact that London have defended, you know, 20, 25 tackles there, and in the dying set of that, they don't challenge them enough, and they just let them carry and come away from their own end, and that's a silly mistake.
Lewis Bieniek. Yeah, Bieniek losing possession.
And the reason why these two sides sit at the bottom of the ladder, Fraser, well, the last sort of 6 or 7 minutes have shown that in season 2024.
It's just little moments of quality, isn't it? That
Well, it's quality, it's concentration.
bad decisions.
You know, at this level and at the top of this level, the best sides make decisions, the best decisions under fatigue and at speed. And when you challenge those areas, that's why you get a lot of mistakes.
Into the last 3 minutes of the first half then. And it's the Broncos who lead. But Lewis Martin now with a lovely zigzagging run in towards the 20-metre line. And another chance here as Jordan Lane fires it out towards Smith. Down the line they go, through towards Chamberlain. Chamberlain 10 metres short, down the right-hand side for Cartwright. They might get another chance here. As Lewis Martin is just held up once again.
It's another mistake, Fraser. He spilled the ball under the bodies there of the left edge of the Broncos. He just tries to put the ball down there, but it's Adebayi who's covering over a middle forward, helping his centre and winger out.
It was Zach Jebson who was going for the line there.
And Adebayi just does enough. And again, it's making decisions under fatigue. And so far, there's plenty of players out there who just can't quite understand what's needed in the context of this game.
Sadiq Adebayi, who was born in Lagos, Nigeria, but he's been with the Broncos since the age of 15.
A penalty here as well. So you're compounding error with penalties. An absolute mile offside. I think it's Tom Briscoe, the most experienced player out there.
Campagnolo gets it away out towards the halfway line, and just a chance here for them to take a little breather and have the ball outside of their own half. After all that pressure that they've been under. But it came to nothing for Hull.
Move Jordan and square. Back hold. Go on, Jack,
So,
quicker.
the Broncos then with Hugo Tisson, who's come on as a first half substitute.
Oh, no doubt,
waiting at dummy half here.
Mike Eccles will be delighted with this scoreline at half-time, knowing that there's a couple of things that they can fix up, really. Because it's their mistakes, Fraser, that's just allowing FC any kind of foothold in this game. It's Campagnolo on this right edge.
Lovely running through the middle again. As Brad Fash goes in for the challenge. Being pushed further and further back here, Lewis Bieniek. That's terrific defensive work from Hull FC. As they shove the Broncos further and further back. As Tisson finds Campagnolo. Back in towards Davis.
Well, maybe get one more play here, Fraser, right on the hooter.
There it goes. Tisson goes for it into the corner, but it won't make any difference because it has been a terrific first half for the London Broncos. Hull FC have really been putting the pressure on. 7 wins and 9 defeats in 16 games. London are appearing for the first time since 2019. They have lost their last 4 Magic fixtures. Is that about to change? Mike Eccles watching on as he sees his side get the second half underway, and it's going to be Oliver Leyland. What do you think, Kyle Amor, the chat in the half-time dressing room was from Mike Eccles in terms of making sure that they hold on to this lead and see out this victory?
Yeah, I think he'd be pretty happy with where his side are at. I just think that a couple of those yardage mistakes, if they can iron them out, then they could have had more of a foothold in this game. But for Hull FC, you know, a lot of questions had to be asked there because they didn't look connected, and they were coming up with some stupid and sloppy play. But Tom Briscoe now, as they move the ball from deep inside their own half, you know, we mentioned the errors there. So far, it's 7, of course, for London Broncos and 6 for Hull FC, but I just felt that where and when those errors came about was the difference.
Missed tackles has been a big one as well. 19 for Hull FC and 12 for the London Broncos in that first 40 minutes. So things could do with being a little tighter for both sides. At the moment, though, it's the Black and Whites who are in possession and running towards the halfway line as Lingy Sao just comes into help with the shove forward there on Jordan Lane as it's hoisted high again. And Josh Rourke will be under this one. Terrific first half from him. Although, as we mentioned, there were one or two mistakes creeping in, little errors here and there. And this will surely be where we see Hull try and react to some of that frustration that Simon Griggs was talking about in that first half, despite the fact that London Broncos still happy to be throwing the ball around in perilous situations at times.
Well, you're always going to get that with Hakeem Melody Fraser. I think he has the second most offloads in the competition, just behind Herman Essa. And his strength and power. I think sometimes Melody doesn't even know himself what he's going to do.
Stand now, 4 back. Go 4.
So, down the left side, and another big kick from Ollie Leyland.
Yeah, just tries to go for the 40-20 there, but Harvey Barron just in the pocket, just to return that ball and cross over 25 metres away from his own end to begin Hull FC's second set of the half.
Morgan Smith waits as they feed it down the line with Lewis Martin.
I think he's been one of the shining lights, certainly for Simon Griggs. I think him and Jed Cartwright have had a decent game for the Black and Whites, but everything else in between has just been a bit ugly.
Yeah, he's had a terrific start to his career, hasn't he, at the age of 19. In fact, he turns 20 on Monday, Lewis Martin. He'd be desperate to try and get a celebration for a win as well as his birthday, I'm sure. But they've got a bit of work to do here, the Black and Whites. And so they bring it forward through the middle with Morgan Smith. Lane waits.
Go 5.
Sauer way to his right, but then an error from Jack Charles. Well, Jack Charles just looked like he took his eye off the ball there.
Yeah, that's probably the difference, really, between these two sides. Yes, they are both at the basement of Super League, but the half-back partnership of Morgan Smith and Jack Charles, only 5 try assists and 2 tries in that combination. And you look at, Jack Campanolo, Ollie Leyland and Josh Rourke, between all of 47 tries that has now been scored for London Broncos, those 3 have either scored or played a part in over 55% of them.
Kershaw then, and at dummy half, it comes out towards the halfway line as Hugo Tisson on loan from the Catalan Dragons. Waits at dummy half. Campagnolo with a quick ball out in towards Josh Rourke. Rourke being pushed back, and Sam Esse coming in as a secondary tackler there, which the referee I don't think was very happy about.
Well, there's a reaction here between Esse and Kennedy. They lock horns with one another. But it was the way that Sam Esse came running in. I didn't actually think from up high there was too much wrong with it, but surely the referee putting whistle to mouth straight away says that there was something in there.
What was that, sorry, Ben?
So the referee having a word with the video referee after what happened there. So a conversation going on between the two. Let's have another look at this one. It's Rourke who is tackled, and Esse comes in.
That's what I mean, at full speed it always looks a little bit worse when you slow that down, but at full speed Rourke's spinning and Esse is committed to the tackle, and he's not forcefully gone in there with a swinging arm or anything. There's no need for the blow up after.
I'll give you time now to have a word with your lads.
Let's hear what Liam Rush has to say.
I will take further action. Do you understand? Okay.
We're just telling everybody to calm themselves down there.
Yeah, there's no real sort of swinging arm or force. It's just he's just trying to get in there with leg speed, and Rourke losing the levels that he did in that quickly.
Sam, be careful.
Just mean he just catches him.
Wait.
So the Broncos get the ball back 30 metres from the line. Down the line it goes, through to the middle with Bionic, and they throw it backwards again here.
Yeah. Well, they're not going to change by the looks of it inside of the opening 4 minutes. There's an offload there to be had. They will try and throw it.
Here's Oliver Leyland. Back out towards this near side with Josh Rourke. Leyland again. Brought down towards the 20-metre line. Let's get another update on the touchline from Jenna.
Yeah, this time London Broncos centre Jared Bassett. He's come off with a quad injury. He won't be back today.
That is a bad one for the London Broncos. You look very lively with ball in hand, Jared Bassett. Davis, though, out to Campagnolo.
Still free.
As the London Broncos bring it out towards the 10-metre line.
Go 4.
As Tisson gets it through to Campagnolo again. Leyland, quick hands from him. Lovell now
5.
wrapped up on the 10-metre line. This is the 5th.
5.
Last chance here then. Going for it quickly down the left-hand side. Maludi as he rolls the ball back in again. Rolling the dice, and on this occasion it is a turnover back to Hull FC.
I think it's a penalty for London Broncos here, Fraser. Offside from the kick there, Hakim Maludi. You just see Ed Chamberlain, he doesn't want to commit, he doesn't want to drop on it, but when he does it from an offside position, and it's going to be 6 more.
Quite right, well spotted.
A real opportunity here, Fraser. We saw in the first half, they had 3 sets in good ball and came away with 2 tries. As Campagnolo looks to just drop Kennedy off here.
Stock just a few metres away from the line, and now in a reversal of the first half.
Well, needed to go out the back there, it really did.
Adebayi is being pushed up towards the line. They had all that pressure, Hull FC, on London's line, and now the tables have been turned.
Move now!
Well, just tried to go through the front door twice.
Tisson waiting at dummy half, players away to his right-hand side, and he finds one of them, which is Leyland. And now Campagnolo goes back inside. Maludi still got the ball, still got hold of it. Back again now, Davis. And towards the middle again for Reece Kennedy. Out to Leyland. Leyland looking to go himself, but being wrapped up in the tackle. Tisson was waiting for it, but that one comes to nothing.
Yeah, sloppy set there from the Broncos. He just tried to barge the way through and didn't really throw any shape. They got a quick play of the ball with Kennedy, but when Leyland has a look, there's nothing there. There's nothing out on the edge, and he has to step back inside, and a turnover. Some decent movement defensively, and now they've given a penalty away with ball in hand. It's the youngster Harvey Barron. And the compounding pressure with mistakes.
So much frustration on the face of Morgan Smith there as the penalty was given. And it's just a mirror image, isn't it, of that last back end of the first half, and they've decided to go for the 2 here.
Yeah, interesting. In a similar position at the start of the game, and I thought they would have taken 2, but they ended up running the play and come up with 4 phrases, so that's the reason why I'm sat up here. But this time, they take the 2, and they just nudge that scoreboard over. A bit of scoreboard pressure doesn't really change too much, does it? Goes from 8 points to 10. They're still going to need to score 2 tries at FC. But Leyland there just nudging that board over and just perhaps mentally getting inside the heads of the FC players.
So Oliver Leyland with the opportunity to make it 3 from 3. This one the easiest of the lot so far, though. Right in front of the posts to apply a little bit of extra scoreboard pressure. And goes straight through. And now we have a 10-point ball game. A couple of Leeds United legends in here this afternoon. Jermaine Beckford and Dominic Matteo, who apparently scored a very, very good goal at the San Siro many years ago.
Jack, which way?
They're enjoying themselves, as everybody is here at Magic Weekend. Not so much the Hull FC fans at the moment, though. They trail by 10 points. 8.5 minutes in this second half gone. And they get us underway once more. And 2 underneath the ball for London there. And one of those occasions where you have to put a name on it, and perhaps
it's the first time they've dealt with a kick-off in the game.
Yeah, they've had a few errors, haven't they, from those in the first half. Kershaw.
Move now, Sam. Hold.
Tisson waiting at dummy half. Tisson, who got a try against Catalans, I think it was, the week before last. And Catalans had decided they would allow him to play against them, despite that being his parents' side. 10 offloads now, that for London Broncos.
Yeah. Just goes to show, sorry Fraser, that the commitment from the black and white's defence hasn't quite needed to be where it'd be in terms of that contact as Thiessen goes forward and rides 1 or 2 tackles. Tackle 5 here, 1 to go.
Some big hits going in.
Stand up.
The game really coming alive in this second half now was Campagnolo. Hosts a big one. That's well taken.
Stand now, back, hold.
Got it back on their own 10-metre line now. LFC.
That's a great
Barron bursting through the 10 metres.
Yeah, great place to turn the ball over there. A decent end to the set from the boot of Campagnolo.
Go to. You go.
Hull just seem to be more than happy as a penalty is given here to try and push it through the middle.
Yeah, you can hear Liam Rush just calling Hugo Thiessen. He's offside, but he can't help but just get involved in that tackle. And what was a decent end to that set now turns over into 2 plays later, and the black and whites will cross over into London Broncos territory as they move the ball into Brad Fash.
Fash on the halfway line and just moving into opposition space now as big push through the middle for the black and whites. Simon Griggs will be maybe a little happier now, having seen his side repel some pressure. Only the 2 points scored. Perhaps a little show of respect there from London Broncos. But 10 points is the difference between the two sides so far, as Smith still taking a while for him to come down in the tackle. For out towards Charles. Lingy Sow now. Sow knocking on the front door, 10 metres from the line. Chamberlain shouting out towards everybody to get it down to the right-hand side. A little chip through. They're going chasing after this one. And in the end, Chuck Cartwright was chasing after it, but Hakeem Maloudi shepherding the ball out across the line.
Yeah, Maloudi there just hacking that ball dead. It's a neat little kick from Smith. Nicely weighted, and allows the right edge just to chase, and Maloudi just using all his experience just to know that that ball is better off just rolled over the sideline, and 6 more to go.
Okay, Josh, stay on.
He defended an awful lot down this end of the field in that last sort of 15 minutes of the first half and kept them at bay. Can they do it again here?
The kick is all the way to the halfway line and straight into the hands of Morgan Smith, who offloads it to Sam Estee, who had a pretty big impact when he was on loan at Leeds a few weeks back. Hull hoping that he can do similar things here for their side. Here's Lingy Sow.
Stand to hold.
Jordan Lane waits, but then a penalty is given away again, and this is the kind of thing that will have coaches tearing their hair out.
Yeah, it's Lingy Sow, the experienced middle forward, just loses the ball there. There may have been a hand on it.
It's a surrender tackle initially, and then in my
Lingy Sow,
opinion, you lose the ball on the floor.
he's got to do better than that.
Heads in.
He's a quality player,
Heads in.
but he just loses the ball there. There's a hand in there from Will Lovell.
Heads in.
Lovell did just enough, didn't he, to cause a problem, cause an issue.
Side, shot clock off, ball out. Lingy, don't strike till the hooker has.
High ball over the top, looking for Kershaw.
One, move Brad and square, hold.
Kennedy waiting just at the back there.
Good work, Sam.
That's, lost ball there. He's done very, very well, but, well, the ball did go forward in the tackle there, and as a result, Hull FC get the ball back again.
This one.
You just see the contact there from Aiden, and Esse just dislodges that ball.
LFC ball, shot clock on.
And the mistake from Sal, Matty Pete. Well, he looks pretty relaxed ahead of the derby, the big one of day one. Wigan against Saints coming next.
That the next game, and then of course we finish off later on this afternoon with Leeds versus Warrington. Terrific first day of Magic Weekend.
2 huge games.
The final game kicking off at 7:30. It's going to be a great day, isn't it?
Yeah, 2 huge games. Of course, St Helens A disappointing season for Paul Wellens, ravaged with injury, but he's got an opportunity here after celebrating a new one-year deal for St Helens fans to perhaps maybe get a win over Wigan Warriors, the nearest and dearest rivals, and then of course Leeds Rhinos. They must win, Fraser. They must win here in the city of Leeds this afternoon, or this evening rather.
It is a season, isn't it, Kyle, this year that gives and gives and gives. There have been so many stories.
Oh, they're just
so many interesting things happening.
Yeah. Well, Liam Rush, I thought that Marcus Stock had just dived on that loose ball, but I think he's dropped it in the act of doing so. But it's another forced mistake here. It's Aiden who's just trying to offload the ball. I think everybody out there is thinking that that's the way you're going to win this game, rather than doing the tough stuff, the hard carries, and then allow your playmakers to play off the back of it. The Stock there is deemed to drop that ball.
And talking about stories, what a story it would be if London Broncos were to pull off a victory here this afternoon. And Hull FC have been just as big a story in how poor their season has been overall. Never a dull moment in Super League, of course. 15 minutes gone in this second half. 10 points between these two sides, but 6 again given to Hull FC as Jordan Lane brings it forward towards the 10-metre line. And perhaps this is just the impetus that the Black and Whites need now to get themselves back into this game. As Morgan Smith widing towards the middle for Chamberlain, who's been held up just on the 10-metre line. He's still stealing a yard or two, though. Deneve Barmforth has come on as a substitute. He waits at second half. He's a big impact player for the Black and Whites. Quickly, they get another 6 as well, as Barmforth this time, a real crackerjack of a player, gets in towards the try line. Eventually tackled. They need to be playing this ball a little bit quicker here to put the pressure on London Broncos, but Herman Ese will do plenty of that. He's tackled just short. Players waiting, lining up. Fash wants a crash ball, but it doesn't come. It goes loose. And they'll get it through in the middle through Jed Cartwright. Cartwright eventually offloading. Good work from him. Wingy Sow now. Can he find the key to unlock the door? Jack Charles. Charles running out of space and running out of options. This is good defending from the Broncos.
Yeah, good work under the ball from the Broncos, Fraser. You're right. They just keep the legs moving. They've got a couple of more players to defend here. Cartwright with a hard carry.
6 or 7 metres from the line. And then a penalty is given again.
Yeah. They're doing it tough at the moment of the Broncos. Those FC fans are willing them on. There's 6 more to defend here.
Yeah.
Just an infringement of the play of the ball. Liam Rush deciding that's a penalty given.
Okay.
Barmforth then will get them underway. Wide ball from Smith in towards Herman Ese. And just look, 4 players eventually, then 2 to bring him down. And that's strength-stapping tackles for the London Broncos. Oh dear, the try line begging, and look at the frustration on the face of Jed Cartwright there. He can't believe it.
It was good work from Ollie Leyland there. Just moves his legs, change of leg speed, gets in Ed Chamberlain's eye line. And the pass. Perhaps Cartwright should have taken that ball in. And if he did, it was an absolute gift. But the work, the double defending from Ollie Leyland. An agony, though, for those black and white fans.
It's been quite an introduction for him, Jed Cartwright, to Super League. He played 58 minutes on his debut at second row in the defeat against Hull last week, but he headed the tackle count with 37. So he clearly is a no-nonsense, rugged kind of a player from Newcastle Knights, and he's picked up 30 tackles in this game so far.
Yeah.
Scrum trap and offside.
Perhaps a positive if they can bring plenty more of players like that with along, for next season. They might have an opportunity to sort of get the side back up the table, but at the moment the second best, and they look like a side that belongs in the bottom of the Super League, because London have defended so well for one another.
Just the one try against them so far for the London Broncos, that coming from Lewis Martin in the first half. But they're going to need a lot more of that kind of thing in short succession. We're coming in towards the last 20 minutes or so of this game. And the Broncos looking likely at the moment. Down the right flank. Excellent work from Natoli. And a great offload in towards Kershaw. Campagnolo was waiting for it, but Kershaw goes on his own. 9 metres short of the line here. There's Tisson, waits at dummy half. Goes to his right instead. Crash ball again, this time from Luis Bernic, who is a big unit. Tisson out to Campagnolo. In towards Leyland. Leyland with a long ball in towards Lovell. Can he find the corner? Oh, he runs straight into the defenders. With Hakeem Maloudi out waiting on the try line on the left side, but it didn't come. Here's Adebayi, and he's lost the ball, has he? Oh dear. Real opportunity goes begging there.
Yeah, they're just trying to catch them out on the short side there, Rourke and Adebayi. But this here, look, just, you know, you have to credit FC, credit where credit's due. They keep turning up, they keep moving underneath the ball. And I just thought that last tackle option wasn't the best one from Rourke and Adebayi. But having said that, with a quarter of the game left, turning the ball over deep inside that bottom left pocket. It's not a bad place to turn the ball over. You're asking your opposition to go now 90 metres up the other end of the field as Barron tries to do so if they're going to get anything out of this set.
Stand up. Go to.
London Broncos looking for only their 3rd win of the season. They had to wait 11 rounds before they got their first victory, and that was against Hull FC. Can they make it 2 for the season? Deneve Barnforth driving it forward for the black and whites. Up to the 40. Morgan Smith in through to the middle.
5! Up now, Lewis! Hold. Stand up. Go 5, don't dive.
Down the near side they come.
Yusuf!
Another high oyster ball.
Oh, good. Good 10 now.
It's well picked up again by Rourke. He's been pretty much equal to everything that they've thrown at him at the back with those high testing balls time and time again.
Hold now.
He's been pretty flawless this game as the fullback. Been a number of decent performers out there for Mike Eccles.
Hold. Go to. Well done, mate.
Well, we'll be leaving it to...
I think he's had a good game as well, hasn't he, Reece Kennedy? He's really took that ball hard and direct forward. Quick play the balls in. Leyland with half a chance.
Was it forward? Referee says no. But Leyland is tackled anyhow. Just inside FC territory. Here they come again. Marcus Stock.
All the way to Deneve.
Tisson. Out to Campagnolo. Another high testing ball. And Rourke was chasing after it, but was he collided with or impeded there?
It was just Lewis Martin, Fraser, just at the very end. He does everything right in terms of being an escort, and just watch him here, rock back into Rourke and give the penalty away right in front of the eye line of referee Liam Rush. A beautiful high kick as well. Campagnolo done that all day. But look who's first on the scene for the Broncos. It's Rourke again, just competing and chasing. And that penalty is just going to mean that now Leyland will elect for another 2 points.
They are not doing themselves any favours here, Hull, are they?
No, they're not. You know, they've been weak in contact, they've been ill-disciplined, and they've been sloppy with the ball as well.
Well, this
Hi, Ben.
to make it a real uphill battle for Hull FC to get back in this game now. As we go into the closing stages of the game, Simon Griggs will not be a happy man at all. Leyland then.
Yeah.
3 from 3 for him so far. As there's a real conflab going on behind the post between the Hull FC players.
I just feel, Fraser, that the loss of Walker and Carlos Tumavavi really affected this FC side. Tumavavi obviously being one of their big leaders out there. But Jack Walker, he has that little bit of sparkle, doesn't he? That little bit of hope. You take those two players away, and then you have to reshuffle that back line.
I did mention it at the start of the game, the number of players that they've been through over the course of the season. 43 in 22 matches, and in many cases A lot of those changes have been enforced due to some of the injuries that they've picked up over the course of this season. And yet, London Broncos had kind of the opposite problem as Leyland, he pops this one over. London Broncos had a lot of their players that they'd signed injured from the start of the season and have then slowly come back in, and it's improved them no end, as we can see from the way they play this afternoon.
Look, at the start of the season there was many games where you almost felt sorry for London Broncos. Mike Eccles, they just look completely out of the depth, but what they have done, particularly over the last couple of weeks, maybe months, he's grown and learned as a side, and they've got a real togetherness, you feel.
Short kick.
And they're going to get it back here.
Oh, picked up by Tisson. Tisson, he hasn't got any support. He's got several black and whites chasing after him down to the 10-metre line. Eventually, he gets upended. But London Bronco gifted an opportunity there. And what happened here?
No, he's lost the ball. It's a mistake. An incorrect play of the ball. And boy, did FC need that with 15 minutes to go.
Terrific run from Hugo Tisson.
Hugo Tisson reacts first, gets on the loose ball, but then right at the end he just doesn't play the ball correctly.
And that's a gift. That's an absolute gift for Hull FC, because if Broncos had put some more points on the board there, then it could easily have been game over.
I'm not quite sure, I haven't watched that replay, what that was given for there. The play of the ball looked fine.
You go old.
But it doesn't matter now, as Herman SASA.
The black and whites then maybe given a lifeline.
Move now, pass
they bring it forward to the 40-metre line.
I'm not sure what's wrong with that. I can't see any foul play, I can't see any mistake. I think the referee's got that one wrong.
Morgan Smith bringing it through the middle to Jordan Lane. Lane to the halfway line.
Look, FC aren't out of this game, Fraser, they're not. There's 15 minutes left, but they need to smarten up. They need to carry hard with support and carry direct, and then play off the back of that.
They need something special very, very soon. Denise Barmforth is one of those players that may be able to do something along those lines. As this one is dropped by Rourke under pressure. They've still got the ball here. Brad Fash. He's eventually gobbled up in the tackle by the Broncos defenders, and the ball comes out.
Again,
what referee given here?
He's trying to offload the ball there, and he does so. But I think it's Lee Kershaw who can't collect it. It's a very, very late offload. Yeah, and it's just batted down from Kershaw. That's going to give him 6 more. And I mentioned that what Hull FC need to do, but they need to do something else, and that's turn over a 12-point deficit for the first time this season. They haven't been able to do that.
It's another gift as Hugo Tisson goes limping away to the back of the scrum. Got a real problem with his left foot there by the looks of things. So, golden opportunity now for Hull FC as Jordan Lane brings it forward to the 10-metre line. Out wide to the left they go for Lingy Sao. Jordan Lane was just trundling away to his left-hand side, but he takes the tackle instead. It will come this time down towards this left flank for Brad Fash to bring it back in and challenge a few more of those Hull Broncos defenders, rather, 3 of them. Down the right side they go, in towards the middle with Yusuf Aiden. Aiden wrapped up in the tackle before they go to the left side once more. Tom Briscoe into the corner. Tom Briscoe just brought short down. Martin, they've done well here. Right-footed kick out towards the middle. Might come to Harvey Barron. He's taken a touch there.
Yeah, just that bit of defence there on Briscoe just epitomises what London's all about this afternoon, and they just keep working for one another. The crossfield kick there to Cartwright. Can't collect that one in.
Well, as much as we've been purring about the fact that London have thrown the ball around and really entertained in the way that they've played this afternoon, we've got to say their defensive effort has been absolutely superb.
No, it certainly has. And to keep the scoreline to 4, that'll be certainly one of the most impressive features for Mike Eccles, because there hasn't been too many times that that's happened in a game. A score defensive display of only leaking one try.
Go free. Yusuf scored.
Almost an hour since Hull FC scored, and they're not showing much sign of doing it here as Stock comes away through the middle. Oh, and they drop it again. Leyland was waiting for it, but Charles comes away with a loose ball.
That's far too easy there for London just to slice through with Marcus Stock. Ollie Leyland wasn't even looking.
That's 2.
He did have Ed Chamberlain all over his back, even if he did caught it. 6 again, given away now. Briscoe.
Next is 1.
Tom Briscoe making his 350th Super League appearance this afternoon over the course of 17 seasons. What a career he's had. Here's Cartwright.
Move now,
I want to play it in too many sides like this one.
Hold. Go 2.
Back again from Chamberlain through the middle for Charles, and now Lingy Sow
3. Move now, Will. Hold here.
waiting in the middle for it.
Go free.
Deneve Barmforth. Now Smith in towards SASA.
Move, Jack.
Eating up the yards. Has played at that one in the middle.
Not square.
They've got to be careful here of London Broncos.
Too many errors starting to creep in.
They're just asking. They're asking each other just to do too much defending at this moment in time. And you can see there, T-Son, he's not even square at market. He tries to make a dive on that ball. I think it was tackle 4 or tackle 5 even. SA.
Up to the 10-metre line. We're going to be giving you, the viewer, the opportunity to vote for the Betfred player of the match this afternoon. We'll be giving you details of that in just a moment or two as another howler. Another howler. How many opportunities are they going to get?
I just think Morgan Smith there trying the no-look pass, and it was a bullet as well. Kershaw escapes one. Can't escape Briscoe, but he's near at the 40-metre line in the blink of an eye. As
Turning
Cartwright
defence into attack.
Looks for a big shot, sticks and does well.
1. Move, Jed.
Maludi is tackled. So get on the Our League app and vote for your player of the match. There are your options. 4 of them from London Broncos, which is probably no surprise given the way that they've played this afternoon.
Yeah, they've dominated this game, no doubt about it. And there's still maybe more points out there.
Lovell. Campagnola. Wow, what a hit from Sam Esse. We heard the slap there from up here on the gantry from a long way away. That was a massive hit from Sam Esse. But they've still got possession here, the Broncos. T-Son eventually pulled back by the collar of his shirt. In through towards the middle for Emmanuel Wayne, who's come on as a substitute. This is the 5th. They'll go for the drop goal here. And Oliver Leyland strokes it through the middle. And that really puts the pressure on Hull FC. Oliver Leyland taking the 1-pointer. And is that the game?
It sure is. It is for me. But prior to that drop goal going over, just painted the picture of Hull FC all season. Not strong enough, not tough enough, and not committed enough. And they really are rock bottom. I don't think there's anywhere left for this side to fall.
Well, Hull FC go short again. They've got, what, 8 and a bit minutes now to try and pull some kind of a miracle out of the hat here. Because at the moment, Kyle, it is just not working for them.
No, it's just not working for them at all. And it hasn't done for 20 or so rounds. Young Liam Martin there. Lewis Martin, sorry.
Foot in touch.
Foot in touch.
Yeah, just here, mate.
But there's just been far too much turmoil, disruption, whatever you want to call it, for any team. You know, we've mentioned there 52 players. Of course, Sam Esse wearing that number.
Jed, keep working the 10.
It's an absolute mess.
1. Move Deneve. Back.
Broncos then looking to close this game out as they bring it up towards the halfway line with Butler.
2. Move now, Jed. Hold here with me. Hold, Jed, Sam.
T-Son waits. He looks like he's managed to shrug off that injury he had to his foot
3.
a little bit earlier on. Here's Wayne. On the 40, he's taken a bit of a knock.
What a win this is, though, for London. What a story that's there as well. Yes, they will sit purely on points difference at the foot of the table.
4. Move, Sam.
But what a story it's been for the London club.
Tisson waiting.
Go for.
As, here it is with Emmanuel Wayne again. Another big hit going
Move,
on.
Jordan. Back
As he battered his way through the Hull FC defensive line. Campagnolo, who's been a real box of tricks all afternoon. He's pinched the pocket. Absolutely brilliant stuff from Josh Rourke. A flying finish for the fullback. And London Broncos will close out the game.
He's been doing it all afternoon as Josh Rourke. And he's at it again. He just climbs higher, pinches the ball, and seals a famous win for London Broncos. You've got to go back to 2011 with an 11-4 win over Catalan Dragons. Back at the Magic Weekend then, but they finally got another Magic Weekend win. 13 seasons on, and it's a kick again. The combination of Campagnolo and Rowe chasing, competing, and boy, he takes it so well, Fraser. It's a huge leap and a huge score, and you could just hear all of the fans, apart from the black and whites in this stadium, all erupted in joy because they've bought into the story here this afternoon, and that's London Broncos getting a famous win here.
1 minute away.
Well, the atmosphere here really is building because, of course, we have got Wigan versus St Helens coming up later on, but look at the celebrations from the London Broncos players in front of a lot of Wigan and Saints fans who applauded that because they could see the quality of it.
Well, I think they all know, and I think the rest of the Super League now has known that Josh Rourke is a player, a smooth operator, a slick operator at this level. And that's now his 7th try in 7 games for London. He's only featured 7 times this season. Boy, there's a player there.
Just have another look at this. Great kick from Campagnolo. What a dive and finish from Josh Rourke. He has produced a couple of magic moments on Magic Weekend.
Look, of course, Jack Charles, could he have done better? Could he have tried to at least get off the ground? Yes. But let's take nothing away from the finish. And those pitches at the end there, when they're all just in it, they've had a long, hard, tough season, Fraser. And the pitches of not only that, but the ones that we've seen of Mike Eccles, they're all in it together and delighted for every one of them.
It's been an incredible story for the London Broncos. And who knows what next season will hold for them. But certainly as far as Hull FC are concerned, a new coach coming in, and he's got a big job to do, I think.
He's got a more than a big job.
Anyhow, we're into the last 5 minutes of the game. And London Broncos on the verge of recording a very famous victory. And they've got Magic Weekend off to a great start. Kershaw. Just short of the halfway line. Tisson waiting for it, but now they'll try and slow things down a little bit here. Well, London Broncos, no doubt, as Marcus Stock tries to push his way through the middle. Tisson once more. Well, apologies there if you may have heard some of the language coming through on the pitch side microphones there. Passions running high, as I'm sure you can imagine.
Good carry.
It's a lovely ball from Wayne. Wayne, can he finish this one off? To Campagnolo. Oliver Leyland. Oliver Leyland finishes it off with style. And the Broncos are taking home a famous victory for which they thoroughly deserve.
Yeah, Ollie Leyland there, setting it all off, just slowing his tempo up and dropping a ball back for Emmanuel Wayne, who gets rid of one and sets off on a run. And Leyland in support, and he has a nice little bit of footwork at the end there just to deal with the cover and chase. He just steps back off his left foot and scores another try. Back-to-back tries. And this is a great win. This is a brilliant win. The tempo, the carry, get out of my way. And then the support play. And a little bit there at the end there. Lewis Martin trying to cover. But Leyland sees it, steps and scores. He's had some big carries as Wayne since he came on the field.
Fittingly finished off by Oliver Leyland. He's been ever present in 22 matches for the London Broncos this season, and I don't think anybody in this stadium would have predicted this kind of a scoreline towards the end of this game.
Yeah, it's been embarrassing for FC, and I'm sorry to stick the boot in, but I'm lost for words. I really am.
Well, that's just a shame, isn't it? Because that's what we're paid for.
Well, there's nothing
I know
left
what you
to
mean,
describe
because
with them. You know, I mentioned before that they've just been soft in contact. You know, 14 offloads.
I think there's going to be a real inquest into this one as far as Hull FC are concerned. The dejected looks on those faces.
Look, this is a side that shipped in over 500 points, Fraser. And FC have only managed to score 4.
There are so many questions that are being raised by this performance as a ball goes loose there. And I think the referee said that Sam Ete maybe had his foot in there and he should have got it out. So London get themselves another penalty. Ollie Leyland with 17 points this afternoon, including a first ever drop goal.
I'm just looking down at our screen here, Fraser. 9 penalties conceded for Hull FC. That could have been the 10th. 12 errors. 14 offloads allowed on them. And a scoreline that sits at 29 points to 4 against this London outfit. That, if we're honest, that when they stepped up to Super League, the squad that Mike Eccles had, he was left with no choice just to carry on a championship side and try and work his magic.
Rhys Kennedy bringing it forward once more for the London Broncos. Tisson and now Campagnolo. Oh, and then that one is knocked on. But my word, the London Broncos fans that have made their way a long way up the M1 here to Elland Road will be big fans of how this Magic Weekend performance has turned out for their side.
Well, 2 weeks ago they turned over Catalan Dragons 12-10. An improved scoreline, a decent, respectable scoreline against Warrington Wolves.
To death, let's be honest.
And then now there's improvement there. It's just come all a little bit too late for them in terms of this season, but I learned from them. A kick downfield here. There's a foot race on.
They're going chasing after it, and Tisson is the first man to get there, showing no problematic signs. A kick and go over the top here as Maloney goes chasing after this one. It could be a foot race here again for the London Broncos.
This is good.
They're going all the way out towards the line. It's just over. There goes the hooter. And I tell you what, we've had mistakes galore in this game, and both coaches will have a lot to say about that. But in terms of sheer entertainment value, the fans that are here at Elland Road are on their feet applauding this magnificent performance by the London Broncos. The referee, though, has decided that he wants to get everybody back and off the pitch because the game has